Here we are once again with another fabulous speaker interview. I am Tawdra Kandle, the Assistant Conference Director for the 37th Annual Novelists Inc. Conference, which is taking place at St. Pete Beach, Florida, from September 23rd to 26th, 2026. Every year, several hundred NINC members and industry professionals attend our conference for top-tier educational workshops and high-level networking, all in a very relaxed beach atmosphere. We like to say we are a beach conference with an education problem, but it's not really a problem. It's really pretty fun. We would love to have you join us. If you are listening to this and are interested in coming to the conference, please go to NINC.com for more information. And without any further ado, we are interviewing, I'm interviewing Alessandra Torre, who will be leading 2 workshops this year. The first is Outdated Marketing is Killing Your Book Sales. I love that title. And Why Readers Stop Turning Pages. Alessandra, thank you so much for joining us today. So glad that you could take time out of we can see the beach over your shoulder. So, out of your busy beach day to come and join and talk to us. Can you tell us a little bit about your workshops and what inspired you to teach both of them?
Absolutely. So as a quick introduction, my name is Alessandra. I also write under A.R. Torre. So Alessandra is my romance pen name. A.R. is my suspense pen name. And I've been self-publishing since 2012. I'm also hybrid. So I'm also traditionally published. I picked these 2 topics, one, because they're like the 2 sides of the writer's brain, right? So marketing and a craft. So to start with the marketing, I see a lot of authors that are doing all of the things, or they're like me, a dinosaur in the self-publishing industry. And we're doing a lot of the things that were successful in the past. And it's not to say that those avenues aren't still successful, but you have to keep up with the changes in the platforms and the changes in the methods and the algorithms, or else you can be, doing something that you've always found success with, but now it's not working, because everything is continually changing. And as our market gets more and more saturated, we have to pivot and we have to learn how, to do what we can to help our books stand out. So that's what I'll be talking a lot about in the marketing side, is kind of the changes that we're seeing in the platforms and the algorithms and how you can take advantage. It's not all a bad thing. The algorithms are getting a lot smarter. And so we just have to learn what information we need to give them and kind of our positioning to make sure that we surface to the top as much as we can. So I'm really excited for that topic. That's the marketing side. And then on the craft side of things, as I mentioned, Alessandra is my romance pen name. I started in romance. I moved to suspense, almost pretty much full-time suspense. I made that shift 5 or 6 years ago. But even as a romance author, my books all had an element of suspense. And by suspense, I don't mean dead bodies. I mean, questions in the reader's mind that they have to read on to find out the answers to. So you are leaving them in suspense. You aren't necessarily adding suspenseful, cloak and dagger elements to your books. So a lot of what I'm talking about in that presentation, how to keep readers turning the pages, is how do you engage your readers' curiosity levels and then satisfy those and deliver on them while continuing to need that reader to turn the pages forward all the way till the end. So I'm beyond excited for both of the presentations for different reasons, and excited to meet the attendees at NINC and have a chance to relax in a different beach environment than I have here in Key West.
It is. And, people who aren't that familiar with Florida don't understand that all of our beaches are really very different. So, that would be
very different. And I moved here from North Florida. So I had the Destin 30A beaches, which is like white sand. I mean, it's still the west coast of Florida. So, but very, very different in terms of look. Down here, we have a lot of variation in the color of our water, which is what I really love about Key West. We have so many different islands, which we didn't have. But less beaches. Like we don't have, unless you go out on an island, it's hard to find that beach. So, and then, in St. Pete, it's beautiful in terms of beaches. And
It
Yeah.
is, and I was in Destin earlier this year. Yeah, it's very different. The sand and just the aqua water. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, before we go too far down the beach trail there.
Before we book your next vacation
Right,
and start
exactly. That
talking
sounds
about
like what we're trying to do. We're not, we're not
let's
selling books.
focus.
We're
Yeah.
selling vacations. What is one practical tip or insight that not readers, now I'm on that one, that attendees can expect to walk away with after they go to your workshops? And you can just choose one if you want, or if you have one from each, feel free.
Yeah. So, like a sneak peek of something you might learn at, like, let's talk about the marketing one first,
Mhm.
right? So, there, if I was going to give you a quick takeaway, I would say that clarity of your product is really important. So, because the algorithms' jobs, and by algorithms, I mean on social media, I mean for the retailers, I'm really talking about, and also just the algorithm of readers' attention span, right?
Yeah.
Capturing that everything needs to be easily understood at a glance, and if anyone is left guessing, confusion doesn't lead to sales, right? Confusion kills sales. So if anyone's left guessing when looking at your product, or if your product raises too many questions or one big question in the reader's mind that's important to them, then they're just going to go to the next book, because it's not like, when Kindles first came out. And I know I, as a reader, was like, oh my gosh, this book is 99 cents. Like, that was so unheard of to me. It didn't even matter if it was a genre I read, or if it even looked good. Or if it was free. I was just like, so giddy at the idea of getting a book. Nowadays, readers can be really picky about what they want, because there is such a vast library for them to choose from. So it's really important that when they look at your book, they say, yes, this book is for me, or no, this book isn't for me. And it's fine if it's not for them, because it is, but it needs to be for someone. That's the first thing. It needs to be written for a specific market in mind. You don't just write a book and hope that there is the perfect reader out there. You need to understand who you're writing this book for, and it needs to be a big enough group that you will be able to market and find them. And then your packaging needs to be crystal clear. We used to be able to be kind of vague and coy and like, ooh, and look at this, pretty mysterious cover. Not nowadays. We got to tell them what it is, and you can do that without spoiling your book. But yeah, clarity over coyness. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We can't promise a comedy and then deliver a tragedy, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So.
Or then be like, is this book funny? I don't know. Like, you'll have to read and find out. No, like we can't do that. So that's what I would say on the marketing side. And on my craft, keep the readers turning the pages. I would say, if I was going to share a quick takeaway, I would say, oh gosh. I'll be talking about subplots. So I'll be talking about subplots and the different type of subplots. And you don't have to rewrite your entire book to add a subplot if you don't have one. But subplots can be a really great way to do a lot of different things with the reader experience. But one of those things is to give the reader additional reasons to turn that page forward. And I do want to just underline that my presentation is not just for suspense. I mean, a large number of books are suspenseful in some way. Right. But even if you're like, oh, I write Amish romance, like you will still walk away with something valuable from this, because a lot of the concepts I'm going to be talking about, suspense can be raised with just like, a knock on the door, or a secret that a spouse is keeping, from their partner, or something like that. So there's a lot of different, even though I will be talking about creating suspense in the reader's mind, or, it's an all genre. As long as it's fiction, it's an all genres welcome presentation.
Yeah. And that is such a great point. And I'm very excited about that. I've recently read a few books that as you're saying it, I'm realizing that even though they are pure romance, they really did a good job of keeping the suspense. So as I said, you have presented at NINC in the past, and you really wowed our attendees. You come up on a list of, when we say to people, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see again? You are always on the list. So we're so glad that you're coming back. What are you most looking forward to about being at NINC this year? I mean, aside from checking out, visiting a different beach.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I love, there are a few things I love about NINC. One is I love that I feel like out of, when you look at conferences, it has a very strong business focus, and that's valuable to me as an individual. I mean, and I like that it has advanced level presentations. Like, I don't feel like I'm coming to a beginners authors conference. So I know that I can always get, high quality, advanced presentations, but also there's just a great group of attendees there. So, and I was just talking earlier with Jim from Draft to Digital. And so I said, are you going to be at NINC? And he said, of course. And so, we're going to plan to meet up while we're there. And so it's just nice being able to see a lot of familiar faces, but then I always meet new people, when I go. So it's also just a great networking opportunity for me, which you don't get a lot of, in this industry.
I know it's very true. And Jim is probably already scheming about his karaoke costume. He and I have been emailing back and forth. So, he never fails to just surprise us and make us laugh with it. My favorite was the year that he dressed up as an Oompa Loompa and was walking down the beach at 2:00 in the morning after coming from something else. And I think some people who saw him thought that somebody had slipped something in their drinks.
I didn't even know that was something that I could look forward to and expect. So now I'm really excited.
He is such a good sport. He really is. I mean, they all are. We are very fortunate in our industry friends. So anybody who is listening to this and watching it and says, well, I really want to know more about what Alessandra does, where can they find you, follow you, get to know what how you teach? I know you have webinars that you do, because I'm a faithful attendee, and I think you might have something coming up this, very, very soon.
Yeah, in 3 days. Yeah. So you can follow me. So the social media platform I'm most active on is TikTok. So if you are on social media and you want to keep up with my books and different things, you can follow me on TikTok. That is pretty much focused on my books. And then I have a site, Alessandra Torre, INK, but I don't update it that much. So for the latest in blog posts or classes or conferences and events, if you go to inkerscon.com, like INKERS.com, I have a ton of blog posts and I also have some free content on there. And I'm almost always, a couple times a year, I do webinars. So you can sign up there and get notified.
Yes, and Alessandra is very generous with her knowledge, and we all appreciate that. So now, if you are interested in joining us and attending Alessandra's sessions at the 37th Annual NINC Conference, please go to ninc.com, NINC.com, for more information and to purchase your ticket. A reminder that we are having a masterclass this year, which is open to not just NINC members, but to any attendee, any writer of any ilk. And that is going to be on Thursday, the 24th, and it will be a $99 ticket and includes a lot. So highly encourage everybody to go to the NINC website and check it out. And thanks again, Alessandra, for joining us, and we will see you in September at the beach.
I can't wait. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.